Most importantly, on China, we see the Chinese Communist Party also for what it is, the central threat of our times. Our vigorous diplomacy has helped lead an international awakening to the threat of the CCP. Senators, the tide's turning. 30-plus countries and territories have become 5G clean countries, banning untrusted vendors from their networks. When we talked about this some year ago, the number was in the single digits. In our hemisphere, Canada has stood firm against the Chinese Communist Party's hostage-taking. Its 3 major telecom carriers have also banned untrusted vendors. Belize and Haiti have denounced Beijing's national security law targeting Hong Kong. Denmark has rejected the CCP's attempted censorship of Danish newspapers. Sweden has closed its Confucius Institutes. Lithuanian intelligence services have identified China as a potential threat for the first time. And in the region, in the Indo-Pacific, Australia declared China's South China Sea claims unlawful and illegitimate, as have we. And we're proud to have stepped up maritime maneuvers in that body of water alongside our friends from Australia and Japan and the United Kingdom. India has banned 106 Chinese applications that threatened its citizens' privacy and security. Our diplomatic efforts are working, and momentum is building to mitigate the threats that the Chinese Communist Party presents. In addition to these multilateral efforts, the Department of Justice is cracking down on Chinese IP threats. We've sanctioned Chinese leaders for their brutality in Xinjiang, imposed export controls on companies that support it, and warned U.S. businesses against using slave labor in their supply chains. We've terminated special treatment agreements with Hong Kong in response to the CCP's actions to deny freedom to the people of Hong Kong, and we closed our consulate in Houston because it was a den of spies.
Something you said at the Nixon Library, you said, quote, maybe it's time for a new grouping of like-minded nations, a new alliance of democracies. And I think that's a good idea, but I'm interested in what actions of a new and dramatic nature are you considering or are you willing to take in order to accomplish the objective you described?
It is absolutely the case that to confront the Chinese Communist Party is going to take a global effort. That's absolutely true. It's why I talked about this idea, perhaps, of a new alliance of democracies. What shape that would take, there's lots of discussion about. Had many conversations with friends in the region. Step one, Senator, to be honest with you, has been to awaken the world to this threat. For an awful long time, not just the United States, but the whole world saw that there were lucrative opportunities in China, and that was basically foreign policy. Sell as much as you can, outsource jobs, build supply chains. So we are working, our diplomats, trying to build out a set of relationships, and whether that's part of a formal organization or not, I'm not sure I know the answer to yet, but to convince them that America is prepared to lead in pushing back against the Chinese Communist Party, and when they do, we will be there to support them. And so I could list you, we have some 26 lines of effort at the State Department, probably an equal amount at the Department of Defense, all aimed centrally at building out this set of alliances, both in Southeast Asia and more broadly with our Five Eyes partners and with the Quad, to build out a set of commitments that can robustly communicate to the Chinese Communist Party that enough, and you have to behave on the global stage. If you want to behave on the global stage, you've got to do it under a set of rules that has created so much prosperity around the world.